Welcome to the Shaun O'Neill Podcast. My very special guest is Sir Steve Hansen. Many call the best to ever coach the game. Real pleasure to have you on here, Sir Steve.
Yeah, pleasure to be with you, Shaun.
Tell me this, is Dave Rennie in Rassie's head? Because by my count, that's 4-1 as far as Rennie versus Rassie.
I don't know if he's in his head, but, Rassie will be pretty disappointed with the result on the weekend because they played enough rugby to win the game, but they got beaten quite convincingly. So that'll be worrying him why that didn't happen. And, Dave goes ahead 1-0, or the All Blacks go. It's not just about Dave, it's about the whole team, isn't it? And, they're one up in the series. So they get another one. They've drawn the series, and one more after that, they've won it. So, advantage New Zealand at this stage, but there's still 3 tests to go.
So you would say that the All Blacks went into that game, probably underdogs. They won 33-16. What is it in that performance that impressed you most about the All Blacks?
Oh, just their ability to stay in the fight. It was a big arm wrestle, and arm wrestles, you don't win them, you lose them because you give up. And the All Blacks just didn't give up. They didn't have everything go their way, but they stayed in the fight and stayed in the wrestle, and eventually momentum came their way. And when it did, they struck really well and scored points.
Steve, heading into Cape Town, obviously South Africa will be desperate for a response. What do the All Blacks need to do to hold their nerve and get to a point where they're leading 2-0 in the series?
Well, they've got to get desperate too. They've got to reset. This week's really important to start again, have the same desperation that they had the week before, if not more, because they know South Africa is going to come out and be really desperate. And a week's a long time in Test rugby. You've only got to have a 5% shift in mental attitude, and the other team have 5%, so that's a 10% shift, and it's a big margin. So the All Blacks need to get this game out of the way tonight, and then, really focus in on what they need to be doing individually. The players they'll have already named their team for sure. So those guys have to be individually getting themselves mentally ready to go back to the drawing board and do it all over again and do it even better than they did last time.
What do you think of the changes that Rassie has made for the second test? Because this must be one of the most capped, South African teams of all time. Surely there's a hell of a lot of experience there. What's the thinking behind it, do you think, from Rassie's point of view?
Well, you can't beat experience if it's in form, and a lot of those players are in form. So Pollard coming back into 10 sort of gives you an indication there'll be more of a kicking game. He's not really the runner that the other 2 5'8" they have in their squad are. So he's going to kick a lot. He's a goal kicker, so that probably indicates they're just going to take on the scoreboard pressure and try and build, rather than try and do what they did last time and go for lineouts in the corner or scrums out in front of the post. So they'll take the 3 points that are on offer, and he's strengthened his bench with the players that he's got there, so he's looking to have more impact off the bench.
With what you saw in that first test, are the All Blacks in a good position to actually win this series, or do you think this was just a one-off performance against potentially a rusty South African team?
Oh, they're definitely in a position to win it. Like, they'll take a lot of belief out of it, and that the more you play a team, the more you learn about them. So they would have learned a lot about them. However, South Africa will be a different beast, I'm sure of that. So it's about getting our reset right and our mental attitude right, from Monday to Friday, so we can reproduce high-level performance on Saturday. If we can do that, then we've got a chance of winning it.
What does great leadership look like under pressure that we can take from, in sport or in business or any walk of life? What's great leadership?
I think great leadership's when you're flexible in your thinking, but you're consistent at the same time. So you're the same person you are whether things are going good or going bad. You're level, you're calm, you're flexible enough in your thinking to hear other people's ideas, because you don't have to have all the ideas, but you do have to have the ability to listen and learn, and lead people through that pressure cooker stage. And people look to you to see if you're calm, and if you're calm, then they'll stay calm. And if we find solutions rather than talk about the problems.
What do you think that, like with Dave and Rassie, like obviously they want to win the series, but how much are they looking ahead for the Rugby World Cup, and is that factoring in their thinking now in this series on the decisions that they're making, or as a coach you just purely, no, the job is to win this series and that's it, and let's not worry about the Rugby World Cup at this point?
Well, I don't think they'll be thinking too much about World Cup right now. I think they would have done a bit of that thinking when they selected their squads, the larger squads. But right now they're in win the series mode, and it's dealing with what's happening right in front of them. So the All Blacks have a wee distraction in that they've got a game this week at midweek. So they've got to deal with that really well. Probably more so the coaches and the staff than the players, because it's easy for the players. They know they've got a game coming Saturday. They'll have named that team, but the coaching staff will have to work overtime to make sure that both parties are getting what they need for their particular week.
Sir Steve Hansen, you're a busy man. I'll let you go. Thank you so much for your time, and to you, our listeners and our viewers, thanks so much for tuning in to the Shaun O'Neill Podcast. Like and subscribe, because you never know who we're going to talk to next. And remember, for ambassador inquiries, or speaking inquiries for Sir Steve Hansen, simply go to essentialtalent.co.nz.